Yeah, there we go. All right. Welcome, everybody. We're getting started here on our solar eclipse live. So we'll just give it a few minutes to let everybody come into the chat. Welcome. Let's start with the sweet grass blessing. Welcome in, everybody. Happy Saturday. Hope your Saturday is going good. Hey, April. How are you doing? We're here on TikTok and YouTube. And today we're going to be talking about the solar eclipse. So we're just going to give it a few minutes to welcome in everybody. So if you're here and you want to participate, go ahead and tell us where you're from. Say hello. Join us in this chat. It's been so long since I've been on here, so I'm a little rusty. But how's everybody? How's your solar eclipse going? It's been a long time. I'm really happy to be back. And I hope you're all well. We're about to enter into a very, very powerful time. And I know a lot of you are feeling it. So, San Antonio, Texas. San Antonio, Texas. You are going to be like right in that path of totality, aren't you? Oh my goodness. I'm in Colorado right now. In 2017 is where we want to think about. Where were you in 2017, specifically August of 2017? Where were you? And that's where we're going to begin our discussion. And I'm burning some sweetgrass. Sweetgrass is to bring in the sweet energies, the sweet spirits. It's to soften the energies. And really with this solar eclipse, it's about joy, reclaiming your joy, your happiness, your confidence, your courage, and your love and zest for life. And I know there's a lot of stuff I've seen here and there about the solar eclipse and a lot of gloom and doom. But one of the reasons I was really urged to come on live is because this is a time of celebration. This is a time of completion. This is a time where you can now step into a new part of your evolution, into your destiny, into your highest purpose, into your spiritual gifts, into why you came here at this powerful moment in time. In the Tono Puali, we just passed into a very powerful year of the Tekpa, which is the year of the flint, like the obsidian knife, and how we can use our sharpness to cut through the obstacles, to cut through the challenges, to overcome what has stopped us from the past, and to step into this new circle of who we are. And so there's going to be a lot of people who are going to step into their personal greatness. In the Chinese calendar, we're also in the year of the dragon. And the dragon is about owning your personal power, your confidence, your ability to manifest and create. And we're going to see in this new year, a lot of people rise out of nowhere. They're just, like you come up with some crazy idea and then all of a sudden everybody loves it. You're going viral. You're going to see a lot of that. A lot of people who never in their wildest imaginations could have thought that they could have, succeeded, and they will, because that's what the dragon spirit is. The dragon spirit is about rising above to your personal greatness, to why you came here, to what is your inner power. And it's the energy of wealth, prosperity, And how we get to wealth and prosperity in this new time is really about owning your gifts, your talents, your services, why you came here, what you're here to do, and to step into your personal power. And here in where I am, we've got 100-mile winds, like never before wind outside. It's really that beckoning of change, the winds of change. So I invite you to, join in our chat. We're just getting started. I'm going to be here for about an hour. And if you have questions about what it is, we're heading into solar eclipse, what's going on with you, I would say in this time, there's going to be a lot of disruption. Things are going to suddenly change, like that 100-mile-per-hour wind. It's going to catapult things to change in your life. And allow those changes to happen because they're very powerful. And that's what we're headed into right now. And this is the solar eclipse portal. And so I know a lot of you may be feeling those energies. You may be feeling more emotional. You may have a lot of thoughts. Your dreams, if you're connected to your dreams, they're going to be on fire right now. You're going to see, feel, and hear and get guidance on a whole lot of stuff. So be sure to write it down. And be sure to connect to who you are and what you're going through, your personal destiny, what your soul, what your spirit is telling you and urging you to move forward into your life. And what is the sweetness that you're ready to reclaim? What is the sweetness? And have you lost your sweetness? And kind of going back to that 2017. So if you want to join in on the chat and your vibe in here, where were you in 2017? What was going on in your life? Hey Lola, I've been missing you guys. I'm on a different day. I was usually on Mondays, but I'm switching things up. Thanks for the likes and everything. So we're here on YouTube. We got TikTok going, and one of the things I want to really highlight is the joy. Like, let's reclaim our joy. Hey, Christy. I missed you too. And, I really want to have me again on the lives. Were those little bunnies that were popping on my screen? Yeah. Well, welcome in, everybody. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Songbird Grandmother. I'm a modern day medicine and shaman. I've been doing this for over 20 years. And, one of the things I always think about with spiritual healing is it is a path of the unknown. If you would have told me 20 years ago that we would have this type of technology where we could be on here and we talk to people and we could, like connect in this way, I probably would have been like, what? Because I remember a long time ago, in order for us to connect in spiritual community, it was really about being in the right place at the right time. Like how I met my first teacher, it was just random and completely nothing I looked for. It was just, it kept calling me and it all made sense. And that's how the spiritual path has been for me. It's just one thing after another and being in the right place at the right time to meet the right people and connect. And it's really just a path of connection. Everyone has their own public access channel. I know, you're all PBS. Everybody has their own channel. Everybody has their own, vibe. Everybody has their own thing, right? And what you're looking for me is different. And especially like on an app, like the clock app over here, it's really about scrolling, right? You're scrolling. And so you're kind of getting a lot of vibrations at one time. You're getting a lot of different energies. You're getting a lot of different, things. Like some are you're like, yeah, that's cool. And then other things you're like, oh, what is that? How'd that pop up on my page? And so I don't know. It's interesting. It's like we're all just connecting in some cosmic way. So what are your questions? How is the solar eclipse for you? What is going on in your universe? Let me know. Let's talk about it. Let's join in. Let's get some good chats going. Let's get some good questions going. I'll light my sweet grass so we call in the right energies and bring up the vibe. Hey, Tabby. Hey, guys. Hey, Janet. I'm just some names pop on the screen, so I'm saying hello. Let's be social. You guys are kind of quiet. So I've been away. I was in Sedona, and then I was in Colorado, and I'm about to go back to Sedona. So it's going to be quite the year of travel, as always. Oh, you're having trouble sleeping, Christy? You've been enjoying your time for me. Oh, good. That's good. You know, some of the things about the solar eclipse, I know a lot of people, is anybody going to be traveling path of totality? Like some people are really going to be traveling and, trying to see the eclipse and all that stuff. And, in our traditional teachings, we talk a lot about like staying indoors and allowing Mother Nature to do Mother Nature and using this time to meditate, to pray, to chant, to sit with self and reset yourself. Another thing about this sacred time that we're heading into is that during the eclipse, it's a really good time to connect to the holy people, to the spirit world, and to make your promises, your commitments, to, go within yourself and to think about what now you want to start or commit to and start again, because this is literally an ending of a cycle from 2017 to 2024, and then from 2024 beyond, and it's a new cycle. And in the Tonopali, which is the Toltec Aztec calendar, we're heading into a new 52-year cycle. So this 52-year cycle is, for most of us, for a lot of us, it's going to be the end. It's the last cycle. This is in. I was like, that would be a terrible idea for me. Oh, the eclipse. I know. The eclipse, if you're going to go see it, somebody said they're going an hour and a half to try to see it. Be sure to rest up, drink lots of water, and stay in a high vibration and good mood, because it's very draining. The solar eclipse is actually a very draining event. It when you're out there in that energy, and if you're going to be in that place and you're going to be watching the solar eclipse, that's what I would advise. It's just to be sure to, do your spiritual cleansing, your spiritual protection, and stay as high vibrational as you can, and be aware of the surroundings you're in. I live just outside of the path of totality. Oh, really, Aurora Mom? You're going to be kind of feeling it right there. Dolores, is my money getting better this month? Well, I sure hope so. I hope everybody's money is getting better this month, right? You know what you can do, Dolores, to amplify that prayer and that request is do some offerings on the eclipse, before the eclipse and after the eclipse, and stay in gratitude of everything that you have, and ask the spirit world, make a commitment to the spirit world about what it is that you're going to recommit yourself to, that's going to bring in more abundance and prosperity for you. So, right now, finances and love are on the mind of most humans, and that's just pretty much since the beginning of time. But you're welcome. But finances is all about aligning your mind, body, and spirit, especially when you're in a path of business or entrepreneurship where your money comes from you, and it really is about sales and marketing and you putting yourself out there in front of your customers and all that stuff that they teach. But ultimately, it's about your confidence, your courage, and your ability to serve? What is it that you serve? And if you're serving your customer or your client or Mother Earth, you're always going to go right. Because if you're a service from your heart, abundance is everywhere. Abundance is not something we should fear or think of in lack. It's just like love. Love is the same concept. Love and money are the same energies. They're the same currency. And when we understand that when we align mind, body, spirit to what we are here to do, those things are automatic. Those things are automatic. You don't have to worry about it. I have a lot of clients and students that always say, you know, the spiritual healing path, it looks like a path of struggle. You know, because you think about all the spiritual healers, they're kind of living in the unknown space, right? But actually, when you're fully in alignment with that, you're not in struggle, because the universe always provides. God always provides, you know, however you want to call that supreme being, it always provides. Mother Earth, she always provides. But it's really about being in alignment with you and why you're here and what's inside of your heart and what you have to give. I was in a sweat lodge, and there was a woman sitting next to me, and she said something that I always will remember. And she said, you know, when the purpose of your life is to know your gift, it's to find your purpose. And once you know that, you give it away. You give it, you as an offering. You share it, because you never know who or what will need that gift, no matter how strange you may think it is. You know, because there's a place for everybody on this planet. There's a space for every industry. There's a space for every gift, but it's just about believing in it. So it's about happiness, confidence, courage, and knowing that whatever it is that's in your life that you're called to do, that's what you're supposed to be doing. But I think so much doubt gets in the way, and that's what blocks finances and love and health and everything, is that when we doubt that intuition, we doubt what we're given, we doubt our dreams, we doubt all that stuff. And doubt is the biggest blockage to happiness, confidence, and courage. You're so excited, April. You know, that's another thing. You're bringing up tiredness. If you're called to rest during this time, it's a great time to rest. Don't push yourself, but listen to what your body needs. I don't know. Sometimes the spirits make you feel like it's a sweatshop with the heavy downloads. Yeah. You know, and probably there's a reason for that. There's a reason. Because if we're feeling heavy, it means that there's something that we need to lighten in our life. There's something that is emerging. And that's what the real solar eclipse is about. It's about what is coming to the light to be freed from your life, right? Are we going to die on the solar eclipse? Well, you know, that's a good question. Because during these types of transitions and openings, there are people that do transition out of this earth. It's just like the eclipse, the equinox, the solstices. If you look, you'll see a lot of people do transition out of these doorways, and that's a natural part of Earth. But most people will not die during the solar eclipse, but you may feel a death energy because there's an old part of your life that is dying, that is ready to be rebirthed. And this is the new year in a lot of ways. It's a new cycle. And so when we free ourselves and we step into what it is we're really here to do, this energy is not just a year, it's not 2 years. We're in a whole nother cycle, and it's a 52-year cycle. So this is the cycle that begins, you know, the rest of our lives. Are you doing free yes, no readings? No. There's a yes, no answer. No, I don't believe in yes, no answers. And I'll tell you why. Yes, no answers. Yes, no answers don't give you the completeness. You know what I mean? Like if I said a lot of yes, no answers I see here on TikTok are, is so and so coming back? Is my health going to get better? Is my money situation getting better? Am I going to find a boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever? And I can say, oh, yes. And then what? what, what would be, that's not a reading. A reading is looking at the totality of your life and saying, what is the best decision for you? What are the obstacles in your life? What is your destiny? Who are these people around you? What do you need to do? It's like everything. It's not enough to just say yes, no. Who are the ancestors behind you? Who are the spirit guides behind you? Who are the things that, you need to work with and know about? And what are you drawn to? There's readings open a whole box of things. My dog is barking, so if you hear the dog, I'm sorry. Those paintings behind you are beautiful. Did you paint them? No, I didn't. I wish I did. And I have all kinds of stuff. Oh yeah, on YouTube you can see the paintings. But yeah, I have those paintings because I love that it's the woman, it's the feminine, and she's looking up and she's like, looking towards the sky. Because another thing about this time is that it is going to be the woman energy that rises. It's the feminine energy in this next cycle that's going to balance itself, because we're in a midnight sun, and the midnight sun is about the inner world, or what they call in Asia the yin energy, and what they call now the divine feminine. But it's the feminine energy that hasn't been on the planet for many, many, many moons. And it's the magical, it's the earth-based. We're going to see a huge explosion of shamanism. Shamanism is returning. And you're going to see a lot of earth-based traditions, earth-based magic coming back, because it's the feminine, the intuitive arts, the spiritual arts, the arts that haven't truly been here and anchored here, and they exist in a lot of different cultures that are more remote and out, in places where there's not modern civilization. But it's going to come back in a modern way, and it's in its very infancy right now. It's very infant right now. And when it comes out full force, it's going to balance the energies on this planet. It's going to balance everything. It's going to reset the things that need to be balanced. And that's Mother Nature who's going to do that. Life is too complex for yes and no. It is. It really is. Will the eclipse affect a person more if they are ruled by the sun or moon? This is the biggest thing about how will the eclipse affect you. It's about where are you mentally, emotionally, and physically, because that's what's going to be highlighted. So if you're in a very emotional state, then that means that you need to calm the waters within your body, your mind, right? And that's another thing with those yes, no questions, is that yes, no questions are usually stemming from a place of anxiety. And that's what we have to really look at in this eclipse energy, is how anxious are you? What emotions are coming to the forefront? What thoughts that are toxic, that are blocking your channel, are coming up? And why do you keep getting stuck in these patterns? Because now it's time to break those patterns. It's an incredible time to break old toxic patterns and to begin a new cycle. And that's a really powerful thing about the solar eclipse. A lot of people are concentrating on the outer stuff. Like a lot of the stuff I'm seeing is really more about like what the government's doing, or what the and all those things you can't control. You can't control. What you can control is yourself and how you feel and your thoughts and your physical health. Those are the only things we can control. otherwise, all that other stuff is fear. A lot of that stuff is fear. So we have to go back to the basic teaching of fear and love. Am I in a fear state or a love state? That's true. I'm a super anxious person. I'm self-aware, but I feel like I'm stuck in a time loop. And what a time loop is a pattern of destruction. So what I would recommend you do is look at the pattern and say, okay, what is it that I keep getting stuck with? Because the mind will do that. The mind will keep you stuck in a pattern. And now if you're a pattern breaker, what they call a generational breaker, curse breaker, all these words nowadays. But basically it's a pattern. It's like music. You know how you have music? It's all patterns, right? And it's like dun 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 dun. If that's your pattern, it's like, what is the dun dun dun? How can I shift that to a better pattern, a more harmonious pattern, a more, balanced pattern, a pattern that when I listen to it, I feel good. And see, anxiousness comes from a state of fear. And in this time, we have a lot of social media, we have a lot of outside influences, we have a lot of stuff that is influencing us to stay in a state of anxiousness, fear, and sadness and depression. Those are patterns, right? And it's because we need to shift something. There's that wind that has to blow in to shift, and that's the transformation. And that's the work most people won't do. That's actually very hard because it requires self-awareness, right? It requires you looking at it and saying, why the heck do I always feel this way? How do I step out of that? Where did I learn that from? Who was like that? Mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, brother, sister? Anxiety is a familiar pattern. See, and that's the problem with these things, is that they're familiar. So that means that we're used to them and we kind of like them. That's why it's hard to do transformation work, because when you look at yourself and you say, ooh, I actually kind of like that feeling. And because it's familiar, it's what we grew up with, it's what the parents taught us, it's what the grandparents taught us, it's all these people that came before us that had this pattern. And to break that pattern means choosing a different direction. And that's why a yes no question is not enough. Because, okay, I could say, are you going to break that destruction pattern that your grandmother had? Yes, no. Are you going to do the work? That's really the question. Are you going to do the work to make a better love life, to make a better financial life, to make a better health and family and all that stuff? It's a choice that we make. It's a choice. And only we can make it. Because the problem with just straight psychic sessions is that the psychic can tell you what they see, right? If you come in, I just say, okay, I see A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, and in order for you to do that, you're going to have to do this. Like what I said, okay, if you really want peace and happiness and courage and confidence in your life, you're going to have to quit your job. And you're like, what? No, whoa. And all your anxiety comes up and all your fear and all your whatever comes up. And you never quit that job, then nothing after that can happen. There's just nothing after that, because the guidance is like, okay, you have to quit this job. It's stifling your energy. It's taking all your joy. It's making you miserable. And if you can only see that job and not be on that job, you can't have any of those other things. And that's why there's that timeline thing where it's like, what timeline are you choosing? What ultimately we're saying is, what decision are you choosing? What direction are you choosing? Where are you going? And if you know where you're going, then you will know the choice. The choice will be very clear if you know where you're going. And that would be a very good place to start in this new cycle is, well, where am I going? What am I doing? How do I get there? What is it that I need in this personal decision? For me, it's taking therapy to break it up. And therapy is good because therapy will help you work it out. You have somebody who can sit there with you and help you to work it out. And that's what a good mentor, teacher, therapist, any avenue that you choose should do for you. It should help you to work it out. But ultimately, and this is the thing, is the decision is yours. I guess I've sat with thousands of people, and I'll tell you, people who really succeed in whatever it is are the people who make the decisions and the choice and step into the courage and confidence. And on the other side of it is happiness. But in between, like right now, we're in between solar eclipses. We just had our lunar eclipse, which was like, a couple weeks ago, which was very powerful. That was what I called grand finale. And that finale is now in the transitional space, because whatever ended is now in the transition of beginning. And as we begin, it's about a personal decision and choice. So right now, I just put out a newsletter, and if you go to my website, the link in my bio there, you can see that. You can see what I wrote about it, because this is a really good time to reset, to review, and to prepare yourself to catapult. Because with this energy of this year, what we have to really invite and take advantage of is that catapult energy. The energy that whatever I put out into the world, it can now catapult. And what I mean by catapult is it can have some oomph to it. It can have some power to it, because it's a dragon power. It can have some fire. It can have some zest. Last year, there was no zest. Sorry. Last year, there was more like water. So in a water year, it's more emotional. It's more about flowing. It's water goes where water goes, right? But this year is a wood year, which is an earth year, and it's a dragon year, which is fire. So we're going to see a lot of shaking. That's what the earthquakes are going to happen. There's going to be a lot of earthquakes this year. And there's going to be a lot of shaking, a lot of things coming down, a lot of demolition, because Mother Earth is demolishing things so she can rebuild them in the next cycle. I have a feeling in order to get what I want, I'm going to get used to failing. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with failing. So I'm half Korean and half Native American. And I lived in Korea for a year. And when I lived in Korea, I had to change my whole mindset, because like east to west is like different minds. And one of the things I learned when I lived in Korea was, if one way doesn't work out, there's always another. Because every time I would have an issue or a problem or something, because when you live in a foreign country, it's really hard. I know some of you are living in a foreign country or have lived in a foreign country, but when you live in a foreign country, everything's foreign. And in that time, I learned the Korean mindset, and I like to teach it to my students, is that if this way is a no, go another way. Because that's what my students would always tell me. They say, oh, no, teacher, don't worry. There's another way. There's another way. And then if that way didn't work out, oh, no, it didn't work out. But there's another way. There was always another way until if there was no way, then they would be, I'm sorry, no, there's no way. We tried all the ways. There's no way. But that's the way we got to think is, oh, yeah, there's another way. Next month, we'll be transitioning to a nomadic lifestyle. Really, Kimberly? Wow. In an RV, my emotions go from fear to happiness and excited. That's normal. That's normal. Congratulations. See, that's a big decision you made, right? You probably contemplated it, about it, all the avenues and all that stuff, right? And that means that, you're going to free yourself. You're going to learn things on the road. You're going to experience all kinds of things, good, bad, right, wrong. But it's going to be life-changing, right? One of your spirits just showed me the confused look you had when you were learning. Oh, really? Yeah, we're so happy for you, Kimberly. Good luck. Hey. That's courage. That's confidence. That's courage. That's learning. That's everything. that's going to be awesome. And a lot of people are choosing to lessen the load, get rid of the unnecessary, right? But there's always another way. That's the thing with finances or love. There's always another man, woman, whatever out there. There's always more money to be made. Money is not in a lack. What may be in lack is our courage, confidence, or, clarity. I think a lot of times it's clarity. So most times people come to readings because they're lacking clarity and direction. But in reality, it's about empowerment. It's what is going to empower your spirit, what is going to empower yourself to make the necessary changes to get you where you want to go. And some people, it might be a lifestyle change. For other people, it might be, like Kimberly, like I need to get out and experience new things and take a chance and a risk, right? And for other people, it may be eliminating people from your life, leaving relationships, changing careers, jobs, going to a new school, moving across country, moving to another country. And I think a lot of this, if you're younger, see, when you're younger, you're more flexible, more pliable, and more easily adaptable. It's harder to change when you're older. And that's the reality of it. Is I remember when I was younger, I didn't have all this. So I just, I could go to Korea. Now going to Korea, I have, all the worries and things like, oh, I have to have house sitters and cat sitters and pet sitters and this and that. But ultimately, it's a decision. I'm willing to take risk and try new. This is the perfect time. Take a risk. Do something new. Try something that you've never tried before. Just get out of your box, because this solar eclipse is really about the ending of something that has caused you great harm and patterns of destruction, to rise above it into something you've never done that is going to lead you into this next cycle, into this next, wonderful journey of why you came on this earth. What did you come here to do? Why are you breathing? And I feel like it's also a time to step into compassion, empathy, into kindness, into love for all of life. Because so many times we look at the problems and we can get so overwhelmed. But if we can just go back to the moment, breath, and who we are, and the solutions around us and why we are here, we'll find that we can make a difference no matter where we are. And that's the energy we need. There's so many problems in the world. There's so much suffering. And one of the biggest sufferings I feel here in the West is that we have lost our empathy. That we're numb. And when we're numb, it's like we can't see beyond ourselves, right? We can't see what's in the heart of another. And we're so divided. And that's, I think, really the energy that really rose in 2017 is the energy of division. That, oh, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that, you're this, you're that. And really going forward, it's going to be the energy of unity that brings us back to our humanity, to why we came here. And that's why it's the feminine that's going to bring it back into balance, because the feminine is the nurturing, the feminine is the compassion, the feminine is the energy of mother, the grandmother, the earth we walk on. Why are we here? We're here to shift this energy, to make it so that our next generations will flourish, they will thrive. We will lay a path, that path of totality. We'll lay a path so that they can follow it, so that we can preserve our ancient ways, our traditions, our cultures, and we can lay that path for that next generation. Because there's going to be a lot of things shifting on our earth, but the one thing that will remain is that we're still on Mother Earth. The cats alone, they would be so mad if you left them. I know, my poor cats. I don't know how I became the cat lady, but I became a cat lady. And the funny thing about it is when I was a child, I don't know who that is. When I was a child, I was highly allergic to cats. Like I couldn't even look at a cat. My whole face would swell and everything would be nasty. And I worked at a vet clinic. And when I worked at a vet clinic, I realized I wasn't allergic to cats anymore. And I loved cats because they're so independent and they do their own thing. And I adopted a Siamese cat. And yeah, so ever since then, I've always had a cat. So what are our questions here? We have about 20 more minutes. I'll be here on live. I do want to announce that I will be having a special ceremony tomorrow. It's a virtual ceremony. And it's going to be for those who are ready, willing, and able to activate their spiritual gifts. So I received a dream about a week ago. It was a very powerful dream, and it was like, okay. And it was like, you have to do a virtual ceremony the day before the solar eclipse for those who are being activated spiritually, who are having dreams, who are seeing things, who are, experiencing things that they're probably have always experienced, but on a more prolific energy, more prolific way. And it was like a very direct spiritual mandate that you have to do this virtual ceremony, and it's going to be a special group of people that come. And so I put the call out, and I've been amazed that, there are so many people that are feeling that and are ready to pass into that. Because what I've been saying for years is that we are in a teacher shortage. That this awakening that's happening, it's going to be on Zoom. This awakening that is happening is just getting started. And when I first worked with my first teacher over 20 years ago, she talked about this time in the clarion call and what is about to happen. And she said, it's going to be, we need more teachers. We're going to need more healers. We're going to need more people to guide the way. And I think where people always get caught up is, oh, well, how do I make money? So many times students have come to me and they say, what am I going to do with this gift? They're prophets, they're clairvoyants, they're psychics, they're this, that. And you're going to serve, you're going to help people, you're going to share your gift, you're going to help change someone's life. And it wasn't enough. So that's what shocked me. Some people they've studied with me, they've trained, and they're doing really well, and they're out there sharing their gifts. And there's a small percentage of people who got stuck in the, what do I do with this? And I wasn't very sharp with it. I was like, what do they mean by what am I going to do with this? For me, it was like no choice. I was like catapulted into this path. But what I learned really quickly is what they couldn't get over is, how do I make money? Because you have a job and it's very A to Z, I go to work, I do this, and that, and then I make money, right? But this kind of path is not kind of like that. It's more like zigzaggy. And it's a path of learning and growing and being the teacher and the student at all times. Like you're always a teacher, you're always a student, because you're always learning. You have to be open to learning, and you have to trust the spirit world like nobody's business. You have to trust it. Like there are times where spirit has me on a cliff and it's like, fly or die, baby bird. And not to fly, right? Or die. You'll be there, Christy Louie. Yeah, so if anybody's interested in that Zoom ceremony, it's going to be at 2:00 Mountain Standard Time. The link is in my bio or on my website. You can click on shamanic ceremonies. It's there. But what it's for is for us to create a portal, an opening, connection to the spirit world, and to sit together and make it bigger, right? Because there are a lot of people right now who are really truly activating, who are really truly opening. And when you're first opening your spiritual gifts, or when you're going to another level of spiritual gifts, it is a fly or die baby bird moment, because you're going to have to let go of what you want, and you're going to have to step into what your destiny is, what your purpose is. Why do you have these gifts? Beyond, what are they? What is it that my signature is, and who is it that I work with? What kind of spirits I work with? Who are my ancestors? What are the energies that are working in and through me that I become the hollow bones for, to heal, to transmute, to transform, to awaken? Because right now, the world is in need of a lot of healing. And there are a lot of people out there who have these special, unique gifts that can help. And that's really what this path is. And you don't have to go put up a sign and call yourself something. It's just about you. Wherever you go, you're bringing that beauty into this world. That you're bringing all your pain, all your experiences, all your lessons, that you now transmute to a blessing. And that blessing is transformative to the world. It's not only to you, but it's for others. And that's why a lot of healers are on a path of almost self-sacrifice, because we have to sacrifice our personal wants and needs for the calling within. And when you have that calling within, you have to follow it. You just have to follow it. There's no I. It's really all about the sacrifice of the I. And that's where most people get caught up, because ego wants wealth and fame. Those are the two things your ego wants underneath everything. And people say, oh, no, I don't want that. But you'll be surprised at how much people want that. And that's the shadow work. That's the inner work. Because why do we want those things? Why do we want those things? And are they even possible? Some people, it's very possible. You can be very wealthy. You can be very famous. And that's your path. But that's everybody's path. You read my mind because I was hoping you have something. I can't wait. Oh, sorry. I think I missed that comment. So I have about 12 more minutes. So what are your questions? And I'll get through them. Exactly. That makes so much sense. Oh, I'm glad, Christy. Yeah. We all have a calling within. Everybody. If you're a mother, that's a calling. If you're a father, that's a calling. If you're, teacher, that's calling. If you're a plumber, that's calling, because somebody's going to call for that plumbing. We all have something. And I think where we get caught up is when we want something that somebody else has. Should we have a candle for tomorrow night? Yeah, you can. You can. You can do candles. You can do whatever it is you want. Whatever it is that your spiritual practices, whatever, makes you happy. What I would say is that you want to be mindful and aware of everything that happens in this next week. because it's all messages. Something out of the ordinary happens. If you have a dream, if you meet somebody, everything is kind of opening up. So if you're ready to open a new doorway, it'll open. Do you have any suggestions to celebrate? Yeah, I would say the celebration is to get some really upbeat music, like music you really like, and celebrate and dance and sing and be happy. Like bring that happy energy to the solar eclipse. A lot of what I'm seeing around town is doom and gloom. It's not doom and gloom. Don't be dooming and glooming right now. See your prayers happening. If you call it manifestation, see those happening. See your highest self emerging. Shed. This is also in the Tonopali. This is the month of shedding. This is a month of rejuvenation. This is like letting all that doom and gloom and sickness and whatever, heartache and let it go. And get up. Get up and happy. The dooming was 2017 eclipse. I know that was doom and gloom. Okay, I know life is doom and gloomy. I mean, we can't help it. Okay, but we can help. This moment. There are things that are out of your control, and what's out of your control, you can only deal with when you have to deal with it. Right? Like your human spirit can only deal with so much. And what they're called. Like some people are going to be called to get out on the street, protest, do what they got to do. And other people are going to be called to take care of their children. And other people are going to be called to take care of their living situation, their work situation. And, everybody has something different going on. But take like 10 minutes out of your day and feel some joy, feel some happiness. Go into a space of ecstasy, because the ecstasy is what attracts. It's joy. I finally see you live again. Oh, good. Yeah, I haven't been live. I'm sorry. TikTok hasn't shown me an account, so I know I've been away. I took a hiatus. This is my path, okay? I'll be like, here, hello. And then I'll be like, okay, goodbye. I'm sorry. I don't even remember 2017. Yeah, death will always be a part of life package, but even a funeral can be a celebration of life. Yeah. And some people, that's what they're calling it, celebration of life, right? Karaoke. In 2017, I sure said be in bed and rot. Yeah, I know, Sila. So what happens to me, and I don't know why it happens to me, but this is how my cycles go. Around the holidays, when everybody's out doing stuff and, getting all ramped up, I go like more in a cocoon. So like November, December, January, up until like the Chinese New Year, and then the this time of year, I feel like I'm more in a cocoon, right? Because I'm going in, I'm dreaming, I'm resting, I'm rejuvenating, I'm like a snake shedding, and I'm preparing for that new year. And so around equinox, March, I feel more like, okay, I'm ready to share what I learned in that cocoon time. And since I've been on this path, that's how it's been. And that's just kind of the natural cycle. It just happens naturally. It's not like something I do. And I think that's just part of, my path, because in the winter time, it's the time to connect to the spirit world, to the ancestors, to rejuvenate, because I sit with so many people in a year that's my time to like sit with myself. And I think that's really important when you are, working with the public in any capacity, that you have times of rest and then you have times of productivity, and that you balance those two. And for me, it just happens to be like that. So I took a social media break for a couple months. And when I came back, I don't know if you've ever done this, if anybody's ever done that, but when you come back, it's quite jarring and alarming, actually, because Just try it. Try it for like a week. Go off social media, go into a cocoon, don't do anything, and then come back and see what social media is, because it's quite alarming when you're, out in nature. I was in Sedona, I was hiking, I was breathing that fresh air in, I was doing videos and stuff, but I was more inward. And then when I went back on and was, just starting to look, I found that, it's quite alarming. The internet changes faster than the world. It's going to keep changing. We're in for a real technology stuff. And actually, yesterday I was supposed to come on live. I was like, Friday, I'm going to come on live. And then right before I tried to come on live, my phone got mysteriously disconnected. My internet wasn't working. Everything just went. And so I was like, okay, that's not happening today. So that's why I'm on here today. And there's a reason for that, I'm sure. So the internet, okay, yeah. So is there any other questions? What I wanted to do is a little ritual for us to bring in that solar eclipse energy and to acknowledge and honor our ancestors, because they are the ones lighting the way. Everybody has a different spirituality. Everybody has a different name for God. Everybody has a different belief system, but the universal thing is that somebody came before us. A lot of somebodies came before us. And those somebodies that are in the spirit world that came before us are still guiding us. They're still lighting the way. They're still within us, because there are bones, there are blood, there are reason for living. They survived so that we could be here in this sacred time. And so I wanted to open that space and give a space for the ancestors. So I invite you now to, as I show, this is the ancestor candle, is to take a moment in silence and focus on this candle and be grateful for all your ancestors, for every single person who has made you who you are. The good, the bad, the right, the wrong, the everything. Because if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here at this incredible time. And so I invite you to invite your ancestors into this time and space. And as I light this candle, my prayer for each one of you is that you have everything you need, that you know how beautiful you are, how needed you are, how special you are, and that you have the happiness, confidence, and courage to walk through this next chapter, knowing that you have a divine purpose, a divine destiny, and that you have a spiritual team that is here guiding you, and that we all find unity together.
To those who search under the shine, to those that turn away the so-called non-accepted, to those that bring us together, and to those living outside, keeping touch with us for me. To those that made it back to live and fight the struggles of their people, to those that give up and those who do not care, to those who abuse themselves and others, and those who revive again, to those who are physically, mentally, or spiritually incapable by accident or by death, to those who seek strength in our spirituality and ways of life, and those who explore even more. To those who fall for the lies and join the dividing lines that keep us fighting against each other. To the outsiders who
may this eclipse bring you all the love, peace, and happiness. And until we meet again, many blessings.
Innocent or guilty. To the young, the old, the living, and the dead. To our brothers and sisters and all living things